What is going on, everyone? MikeO back doing a PSA DNA reveal video. So another group of cards that have been out for a substantial amount of time, but they are finally back. It's always great when an order's completed. The excitement of getting cards reintroduced into your collection is awesome. Granted, you don't want to wait a long period of time, but when you do, it feels even better to get cards back. Like, it's almost like, oh, I forgot I had these. Even though the memories of having them in the past, when they're held hostage for a long period of time, does come flying back. So, this is a group of PSA DNA cards. These are the cards that passed and were authenticated. There are some that failed, but I have them elsewhere, so I'm not going to be able to show them off in this video. Just some stuff for the collection, and then I have a few cards for Nick, who is Web of Cards, who has submitted a lot in the past when I was doing the group subs for PSA and PSA DNA. So we'll get into these and just take a look at some of the authentic autographs, some of the autographs that were authenticated by PSA DNA and sent back. So first up here is a Ryan Howard. So this is a pack release card from Bowman. I forget what the deal is. Something about this set they won't grade. It's not in great shape as is anyway, grading wise, but just a cool card and cool to have it encapsulated. Ryan Howard, one of the all-time great Phillies. Injuries and coming up at a later age shortened his overall career, but there weren't many players that were as good as Ryan Howard at his peak. Won an MVP, helped the Phillies win the 2008 World Series, big part of the team that dominated the National League East from 2007 through 2011. Just a fantastic player. Forgotten quite a bit in the hobby. It's kind of what have you done for me lately sometimes. But here's a cool card. So these are all going to just be labeled trading card. That's just the simple autograph authentication service. You do have the option with PSA to get the card identified and authenticated as well. There is an increased cost and an increased waiting time, generally speaking. So these were just autograph authentication. To me, it just kind of depends what you want to do. I find grading autographs themselves to be unnecessary and to me just not worth it. Like, I wouldn't pay $1 more to get that done. I would obviously prefer in most cases to have the information for the card on the slab, but again, if it's a difference between say $15 and $30, I don't find it necessary, and if I want the card that bad, then I would send it that way, but generally speaking, not necessary. So this is a dual autograph, and I believe this one was mislabeled. I have to go through the paperwork and maybe contact PSA. Should say Chase Utley and Ryan Howard, because it was definitely charged for that. But this is just a classic card from 2008 Topps. Ryan Howard, Chase Utley, classic combos. Middle of the lineup, star power there. Ryan Howard, Chase Utley, authentic auto. So just a sensational card to have in the Phillies collection. Next up, we got a Dickie Thon. This is from 1991 Fleer. 91 Fleer is a fun set to get autographed. They look pretty good signed. Look a little better signed in blue. This one's signed in black. This is actually one of the very first cards I ever got signed in person. This was back in probably 1991, I would say, late 91, when I got this one signed by Dickie Thon. So special piece for the collection. Dickie Thon had a decent career. You look, he had an injury. He had a really good 1983 season there with the Astros and then was injured. I believe he was hit in the face with a pitch and had some vision issues. So it was kind of a long road back for him, but he had some nice seasons later in his career. Was pretty decent with the Phils and a hell of a nice guy. Got his autograph pregame, and then I remember meeting him at like one of the photo days on the field. So pretty cool. So happy to get that one. I mean, I knew it was authentic, obviously, but just to get it slabbed is fun for the collection. So this isn't a great looking autograph. The autograph just over time didn't take super well. See some bubbling there on the 92 Fleer Ultra, Kurt Schilling, but he's a Hall of Fame caliber pitcher. May get in there someday, and just at some point figured what the heck, I'd send it in. I sent these so long ago that I got these at a pretty good price. I think the prices now with obviously PSA, SGC, even Beckett and CSG running specials, I'm sure you can get autograph authentication at a reasonable price again, but there was a couple years stretch where you really couldn't, but these got in at reasonable prices. So at the time, not knowing if I'd be able to send more, I just, kind of grabbed some extra stuff and tossed it in. All right, here is a Ron Santo, obviously a Hall of Fame player there with the Cubs. Man, the autofocus, not great today. Anyway, 72 tops, Ron Santo auto. Card itself not in great shape, but still cool. Looks awesome. So that's pretty neat. I don't have a lot of grading orders out at this moment. I have one with CSG and I think one PSA DNA with PSA and one PSA out in a group sub. So not a lot. I will be sending some stuff into CSG and SGC soon. And, perhaps in the future, some more PSA DNA. We'll have to see. Here's a Juan Bell. I actually sent another Juan Bell into him in a Phillies uniform. I sent this because I needed a Juan Bell autograph example for my 93 Phillies collection. And at the time, I just didn't know if I'd find a Phillies card. Juan Bell was on the 93 Phillies, struggled quite a bit, and was acquired, or they actually brought up Kevin Stocker, or Kevin Stockton if you're Alex Rodriguez, in 93, and Stocker took over, but Juan Bell was part of the 93 Phillies team, so wanted an autograph of him for that team set collection. At the time I picked this up, Juan Bell passed away, I think, about 10 years ago or so, and he wasn't necessarily a highly sought after, autograph signer, and didn't sign a ton, so his autograph's actually more expensive than one would think, so I'd picked that one up cheap at some point, even though it was a Brewers card. Here's a member of the 93 Phils, 93 National League champions, Kim Batiste. He had a huge hit in Game 1. Sweet card there. And the 94 tops. And a second Kim Batiste on a score. I think that's 93 score. There we go, 93 score. Kim Batiste. Had some big moments with the Phillies. He's another guy who passed away a year or two ago. So I am definitely, I don't have a checklist set up. I probably should get one together, but trying to do a slab set, team set. Doesn't matter what product it's out of, just autographed Phillies cards from 93. Because, I like to collect a little bit of everything, some Hall of Famers, some rookies, brand new stuff, old stuff, but the stuff that I love the most is the stuff that has that true meaning, from watching the games and building memories and sharing moments, watching sports with family and stuff. I think that enhances the collecting experience tremendously, so I was trying to do that. All right, next up, Bobby Shance. Bobby Shance is awesome. He's currently the oldest living MVP. There you see, this one is a 52 tops, signed by Bobby Shance and inscribed AL MVP. Shance pitched in All-Star games and World Series. He was a really good pitcher back in the day. He lives actually locally. He's always been a great through-the-mail autograph signer. He's the type of guy, you send it, he gets it, he signs it, sends it right back. You can get it back if you're local in like 2-3 days. It's crazy. I've met him at a bunch of shows. I think I forgot to tell some guys out there from Philly. Maybe I did. I was actually in my LCS the one day picking up some stuff I had won at an auction, and then picking up some other stuff for the collection, and Bobby Shance walked in to buy some baseball cube holders. So he was in there chatting it up a little bit. So awesome guy. And just a cool card to have in the collection. Not many opportunities nowadays to get 52 tops cards signed, so why not? Here's a set, just a nostalgic set from childhood. The Score All-Stars. They made these for a few years. The big-headed cartoon cards. This is a Julio Franco. He was a star back in the day, winning batting titles and such. I have a few of these cards in the collection. I got the Wade Boggs and Ken Griffey Jr., Ruben Sierra, so would love to pick up some others. I think I got Terry Steinbach as well, but they're pretty cool looking. I know some people don't like them. I think Henry S. is not a huge fan of those, but just good memories. Desi Relaford, Stadium League. I'm not sure these Stadium Leagues. I think these were released by the Phillies themselves. But cool little set there. And signed by Desi Relaford. So if you're a kid who grew up, watching some of the bad teams of the late 90s, you'll remember Desi Relaford. He was actually acquired from the Mariners in exchange for Terry Mulholland. The second time Mulholland was with the Phillies. They got Desi Relaford, who was starting shortstop for a few years. Obviously didn't amount to a ton, but you got those memories. You collect those autographs. You look at the cards and just, get flashbacks from back in the day. Here's some cards from Nick, or for Nick. This is an Eddie DeBartolo, PSA DNA certified. Class of 2016 Pro Football Hall of Fame. Got a Ricky Williams, NikeGridiron.com. Ricky Williams, one of the top draft picks. Had a nice career for both the Saints as well as the Miami Dolphins. It is a Cooper Manning autograph. Reprint card is what they called it. Authentic auto. Cooper Manning. Got a little young Manning action. Continuing that theme, we got Arch Manning. This one's just labeled as a card, an authentic signature. Another Arch Manning. PSA DNA. And we got a little dual action. Archie Manning and Arch Manning. Dual autos. Another one, dual Bobby Witt Sr. and Bobby Witt Jr. Authentic dual auto. Who has the better signature, father or son? I think it might be the son. Then we got another card for me. Marlon Anderson. Pretty cool looking card there. Good old Marlon Anderson. And then another dual for Nick. Cooper Manning and Arch Manning, dual signed. Family Legacy Series. So, some cool stuff back for Nick. And then the last few things I have are some bigger holder. I can't remember which ones. I know I resent a Joe Montana that did fail in the past. I sent it again. Failed once again. And I had a Brian Urlacher on a glass card, and that one they couldn't process. They called me immediately and said that those cards they cannot slab. When they've done it in the past, the cards themselves, which are made of glass, have cracked. So that was sent back. Anyway, here's an index card signed by Richie Ashburn, Hall of Famer for the Phils. It's actually labeled Baseball Phillies, Richie Ashburn. But that was authenticated. Then this is fun. Currency. It's a Chuck Bednarik PSA DNA certified autograph. Chuck Bednarik, Hall of Fame defensive player for the Philadelphia Eagles. Met him as a kid, actually at the Phillies show way back when, over 20 years ago, maybe 25 years ago. And I remember my dad just pulled out. He's like, "Oh, you want to get something signed?" And of course, I didn't have any cards or anything like that. and just pulled out a dollar bill and he signed it. Chuck Bednarik. I think that's currently defacing U.S. currency. That might even be considered a crime. I don't know what the current rules are, but Chuck Bednarik, he could do anything he wanted in Philadelphia. No one was going to give him a hard time. So that's sweet. Inscribed Hall of Fame as well. So something I've had for a very long time and happy to have it back. And then the final card in the order is they labeled as a print. It's actually a Phillies postcard. And it's Jonathan Papelbon, who had a brilliant career in the big leagues. Kind of crazy, probably not the most popular of teammates. Some ups and downs. This card doesn't have stats, but I will say that Papelbon, in his time in Philadelphia, actually pitched very well. If you look at his numbers, he had, generally speaking, a low 2 ERA every year. He did well. He was just a signing that was unnecessary at the time of the signing. They signed him after the 2011 season. At that time, they probably could have used another starter or a big bat for the bench, and they gave Papelbon a good amount of money for 4 years, and they proved to be rebuilding years, and that was just money that was not necessarily well spent. Never really embraced by the fans, and eventually sent packing to Washington, and that was basically the end of his career. But he is not exactly someone who signs a lot, doesn't really have much in terms of Phillies autographs, so when I was able to acquire this, I thought, you know what, why not get it slabbed? He is, as of now, the all-time saves leader and stuff like that. I'm sure at some point he'll be surpassed. I don't think he'll be coming to a whole lot of alumni weekends in the future. I don't think he has a lot of good graces in the Phillies organization. Had a lot of stuff to say earlier this year. I don't know what he was doing a press tour for. I don't know if he had something going on, but was really saying a lot of things that won't have him embraced anymore by the Phillies organization or the fans. But was a Philly, had success, and, not a bad autograph, put up good numbers. So happy to have that one into the collection. So that is it for the PSA DNA order. Overall, thought it was pretty fun. Took a while to come back. Happy it is back. And hey, I've always had fun over the years getting cards authenticated and slabbed. Autograph collecting is always a passion for mine in the hobby. I have somewhat gotten away from it over the last years. I think I pretty much grew out of getting cards signed in person. I just got to an age where I'll do like charity events and stuff, which haven't really happened much post-pandemic, or if they have like easy public signings, formal things, but I can't chase guys down anymore. I can't reach over kids for autographs. It's just not the way I'm built at this point, and I'm honestly just a little too busy to send TTMs. Hopefully at some point I'll get back into, sending out a few TTMs here and there, but we'll see. For now, just enjoying the collection I have and picking up some autographs from time to time. Anyway, comment below. Let me know what you guys think of the PSA DNA reveal, and I will talk to you later. See ya.